to know the number of the code of the local government.
Okay.
The code of the local government, then the number of registered voters and the number of accredited voters.
For each voter?
No, total,
okay.
Overall.
The code of the local government is 14.
Okay.
Number of registered voters, 196401. 196401.
Okay.
Number of accredited voters, 40337. 40337. Party A, 6. Party AAC, 18. Party ABP, 5. Party ACD, 28. Party AD, 125.
Right, you're watching TVC News. What we are seeing now is the ongoing collation of results in Lagos State. That's the collation officer talking about the results as they were cast in Lagos Island. That's a part of Lagos here. We want to go to Ogun State now. The other side of your screen now is the ongoing collation process in Abeokuta. That's the capital of Ogun State. Also, in the aftermath of yesterday's elections, people are already seated, everyone expected now as to the turnout or the aftermath of results in Saturday's elections in Ogun State.
We will only uphold whatever cancellation that has been done at the lower level, based on evidences available before us. This level is to collate results. It is not to start scrutinizing results. This is the 4th level of result processing. Results of voting were done at the polling unit level. Sorting and counting were done at the polling unit level. Are we following? And then entering of the result into Form EC8A was done at the polling unit level. Where there are discrepancies and need to cancel elections, voting, it should have been done at the polling unit level, where you will have access to the smart card reader. You can see whatever is there, how many people have voted, how many were verified, and then you can compare that with whatever you have counted.
The resident electoral commissioner in Ogun State explaining the process now that led to the collation of results right there at the Abeokuta Collation Center for Ogun State. We'll head back to Lagos State now to get more on the collation there.
NPN 32. NCNP 0. NCP 7. NPC 68. 68. 68. PDP 4346. 4346. PPA 9. PPC 8. PPN 5. Can I continue?
No, please hold on. Hold on, please. Let's sort out this projector.
Well, it appears that collation of results have picked up across the country now. That's the much we can take on the news. We're still monitoring the process here in Lagos and elsewhere. But let me hand you over straight away now to Michael Kwache for more on the election coverage and, of course, the analysis. Stay with us on TVC News.
All right, thanks for staying with us on Nigeria Votes on TVC. It's the 2019 general elections, and our special and detailed coverage of the general election has been ongoing since yesterday. Now, there's collation going on in parts of the country now. We brought you briefly from Ogun State, and now what you see on the screen right now is the collation process that has started in Lagos. We'll go there live now to bring you updates of what is going on there. Let's let you know how the collation process is going in Lagos State.
Okay, you can continue, please.
I think it's going to
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not. So he has to record whatever you have done. So we have to wait for him.
Please, where do you want me to start? PPA 9, PPC 8, PPN 5, PRP 4, PT 3, RBNP 1, SDP 3, UDP 4, UPP 1, YDP 1, YPP 40, CLP 3, total valid votes 37046, 37046. Rejected votes 599. Total vote cast 37645. 37645. So presented, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Tejumai. Okay, thank you very much. Can we have any questions or comments, please? Yes. Sorry, before you, no, you still have to have yours. Are there any cancellations?
None, sir.
No cancellation. Okay, so now we can take questions or comments from the party agents. Please introduce yourself and your party, then you raise your question.
Again, my name is Demola Sereke of APC. It is rather to my consternation that we have a different figure in the score sheet here. And I would like amends. Even though going by it arithmetically, the figure he announced is correct. The figure is signed, and my agent also appended his signature to it. It's different. In this case, it is 34646. That's for record public. 34646.
Well,
And I believe he will be in tandem with that position as well. I want to believe so. Oh, thank you.
yes, Dr. Tejumai.
Thank you, sir. Yes, when I was presenting the results at Lagos Island, the figure presented was 346.
That was the process, and the process is still going. Collation is ongoing in Lagos State. Also in Ogun State, collation is also ongoing, and we'll be bringing you live updates how the process is going. The feed you can see now is from Ogun State. Well, let's cross over to our correspondent, Abimbola Agbebi in Ibadan, Oyo State, to bring us up to speed with the developments there. Abimbola, it's good to have you join us right now. What's the process like in Ibadan?
All right, we are at the INEC head office in Agodi, Ibadan. One day after the governorship and the State House of Assembly elections held across the country. And unlike we have it at various INEC offices in different parts of the country, where we had results coming in at about 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. In this particular INEC office, I discovered just this morning that results we're being moved in here at about 5 a.m. Now, this probably cannot be separated from the fact that there was a reported killing that took place somewhere in Ibadan yesterday. As you will recall that last night, Oyo State correspondent here, Olutayo Fimosko, last night reported in his findings that there was some kind of restriction of movement within this particular INEC office, where people were not allowed to go out, people were not allowed to come in. So probably this, we can say, probably cannot be separated from the fact that security was heightened in this part of the state yesterday, owing to news of the deaths of a member of a political party in some parts of Ibadan. But as I speak to you, as you can see, this is the building where a result is going to be collated. The door was shut earlier. The doors were shut earlier. The door is open now. In a short while, we'll expect that the collation of results will begin. But then I have here with me the Resident Electoral Commission in this part of the state, in person of Barrister Agboke. Good morning, Barrister.
Yeah, good morning.
It's nice to have you join us.
It's my pleasure, thank you.
All right, so can you bring us up to speed what's going on at this particular INEC office? You will recall that last night our correspondent yesterday reported that there was some kind of restriction of movement within this particular INEC office, where people were not allowed to go in, people were not allowed to go out. I wouldn't know if this can be related to the report of the killing that took place in some part of, in a particular, in an area in Ibadan yesterday. Please, I need to make some clarification.
Oh, okay. Let me just say that, you know, when events like that happened, you know, security situation will be heightened, and people will be skeptical and be fearing and be apprehensive. So we got an intelligence report that some people were planning to come and invade the office. And of course, we needed to step up the security arrangement. And then, as at that time that I came in, that was around 9 p.m. or, sorry, around 11 or so. I needed to insist that whoever has entered the premises remained here, and whoever wants to come in, nobody should be allowed, because it's already late, except our EOs that will be, returning from the various local governments. And of course, we waited. None came until around 5:30 or thereabout. So we needed to tighten up the security of these premises within and outside. And that is why we have applied stricto sensu the regulation that borders on who are the people that are supposed to enter the collation center. And who are they? One, journalists, INEC officials, candidates of political party or his agent, candidate or his agent, observers. Those are the ones that you will see at that collation center.
All right, Barrister Agboke, can you confirm to us precisely the time the first set of results were brought in here today?
I think it was around 5:30 or thereabout, because there's a platform that I used to monitor. So each of them, was telling me where he was or she was. But I think the first person came around 5:30.
Okay, talking about the security of this whole environment, can we comfortably say that everyone in this place is safe now?
No, you can. You can just go and sleep and start snoring and forget you are here. You see, when we get security, information like that, it will be foolhardy of us to just sit down and just take it for granted. Of course, we have men of, Nigerian police force here. We have the MOPOs, we have the SPUs. Notwithstanding, I needed to call the intervention of the GOC, that we should be reinforced with the Nigerian army. And they were here, and they are still here. So every nooks and cranny of these premises is well secured, and there's no problem.
Okay, thank you, Barrister. As you know, or as you may have heard, collation of results is going on simultaneously. I wouldn't say simultaneously, at different parts of the country.
Yes.
When are we likely to have collation of results begin here?
You see, the returning officer is already on seat.
Right, thank you. I have to go now. Thank you so much, Barrister Agboke. And that was Barrister Agboke, the resident electoral commissioner here at the INEC office in Agodi, Ibadan.
All right, Abimbola, thank you. But let me ask you, when it comes to the security you talked about earlier on, when it comes to the township, I wonder if there's still restriction of movement as at this morning. If you can hear me, Abimbola, I'm asking whether there's still restriction of movement around parts of Ibadan.
Not exactly. At the various places where I moved to, people were moving freely. As you know, it's a Sunday. People were going to church. Cars were moving around freely with no restriction, and some shops were opened for business. So I'm yet to see an area or a part of Ibadan that had restriction of movement. Yes, I saw some security officials in some parts of the state, but they weren't really, it wasn't what we had yesterday where we had them, at various spots, stopping people, checking vehicles, confirming who is moving, who should not be moving, and all of that. Everyone across the places I visited in Ibadan today are moving freely, no restriction of movement at all, no tension whatsoever as I speak.
All right. Thank you, Abimbola Agboke, for the updates from Ibadan. Well, certainly, when the collation starts, we'll hook up to you to bring live updates. Thank you very much. All right, I still have with me my guests in the studio, Ayodele Adewale, former chairman, Amo Odofin local government area in Lagos, and I still have a lawyer, Curtis Adigba, with me here in the studio. Now, Curtis, let me ask you, from the deployment of security, police, some 5,000 in some states, depending on the number, terrain, and peculiarity, others 10,000, others 11,000, some 15,000 to different states. When you hear of some of the violence, tension, killings here and there, has there been justification for the presence of the police, the DSS, the military, and all of that?
I think it would have been worse if we didn't have the security men in those states. See, when you want to deploy security, you look at the risk assessment, and you look at the history of what has happened in the past before. Then you now look at the tension that is in the place. It starts with the politicians stoking tension. And so those who are in charge of the management of our security architecture will look at it and say, okay, what do we do to contain the situation? And that's how they arrive at the number that they deploy. But when you still hear about killings and violent eruptions, in spite of those deployments, what it tells you is that things would have been worse if you didn't have that presence. No, I said to people, it depends on how you look at the cup. It's a perspective. You can look at this cup now and I have water here and say
it's half full.
It's half full or half empty, depending on. So you can look at security deployment as providing security to calm nerves for people to go out and vote. Some others will tell you it scares them.
But in some of those places where if we have to, okay, I understand we have to go to Ogun State now. Odogbo local government area of Ogun State where collation is ongoing. Let's cross over there first before we come back to discuss this now.
86140. The number of accredited votes or voters, 26,645. 26645. Then I start the rundown party by party. Party A, which is Accord, 68 votes, 68. AAC, 55, 55. AAP, 40, 40.
All right, those are some of the results. The collation is ongoing in Ogun State. We'll still be bringing you updates as some of the states hook up with the collation. As they begin, we will let you know how it